Education loan repayment can be a concern if you don't plan it in a smart and informed way. Many Indian students see the abroad education loan as a major liability. Very often, they overlook the fact that if there is a little amount of contemplation and planning is done prior to selecting the loan, all these worries can be put to rest easily. Hello everyone, I am Pratibha from Gyanthan, and in this video, I will tell you about the loan repayment process and other details related to the education loan repayment. So let's begin. For the purpose of planning the loan repayment, it is imperative for you to understand the policies and various other aspects of loan repayment in India. So before moving on, I would just like to tell you that Gyanthan offers you free assistance in getting abroad education loans from top banks and NBFCs in India. You can get in touch with us. All your worries will be put to rest and you can stay hassle-free, especially everything related to your abroad education financing. So to start, you can check on your loan eligibility by clicking on the link given in the description and in the comment box. Also, please subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon to get frequent updates on all our latest videos on abroad education. So let's get back to our topic. First of all, I will start with telling you what will happen if you default on your education loan. So as we see, the chances of an education loan becoming an NPA is very real. Let us discuss when your education loan will be classified as NPA and what will happen after that. So if a student fails to pay the EMI for 3 consecutive months, the bank will classify the loan as a non-performing asset. The borrower's collateral will be at risk. The bank may seize your collateral and use it to recover the loan amount. So once the loan is classified as an NPA, the credit score of both the borrower as well as the co-applicant's credit score will be affected. This will reduce your and your co-applicant's ability to borrow money in the future. So however, there is no need to be scared of the NPA numbers. Education loans are a boon for all those who aspire for higher education from premier educational institutions in India and abroad, and are easy to repay too if you are meticulous about your repayment. So in this video, we will tell all our viewers how they can plan their education loan repayment and avoid it from becoming a burden or an NPA. A wise loan repayment plan begins soon after disbursal and is no rocket science. All it requires is a combination of planning and diligence. Simple measures like using the funds wisely, making sensible lifestyle choices, and understanding and implementing the importance of budgeting go in an efficient and wise loan repayment strategy. At this stage, Gyanthan's EMI calculator that allows students to know their EMI is a big help to students as it allows them to know how long it would take to repay their education loan and thus plan wisely. So next, let's understand whether or not you need to repay while you're studying. So once students know the number of EMIs they have to repay in their education loan, the next question that crosses a student's mind is this. So in order to plan their loan repayment intelligently, it is prudent for them to know the different repayment options. So students who take an education loan are entitled to something called a moratorium period. So ideally during this period, the borrower does not have to make any loan repayment. This is the time between the end of the course and the start of a job, and RBI has asked banks to give a moratorium period of 1 year after the completion of the course. A moratorium period acts as a financial cushion for borrowers and it gives them time to find a job after completing their course. So lenders in India have different policies for repayment during the moratorium period. These could be as students would have to pay zero interest during the moratorium, students have to pay partial interest during the moratorium, or maybe some lenders say that students would have to pay full interest during the moratorium, or students would have to pay EMI during the moratorium. So now let's try to find out the answer for this frequently asked questions, especially by the students. Will I earn enough to repay my education loan? So to find out the answer to this, students can definitely take the help of Gyanban's estimated earning tool. Based on their course, the ranking of the college, loan amount and approximate expected annual salary, this tool helps them to know their approximate savings and consequently the ease with which they can repay their education loan. So I would now tell you how planning loan repayment can help you save big. So planning your loan repayment can help students not only lower their financial burden in an organized way, but also save big. So this begins quite early. In fact, as soon as the loan is disbursed. Since the more they pay back the lender, the lesser the financial liability will be, we advise students to be prudent in their expenses while studying and even utilize funds that they can earn while studying. Let us take a look at some of the ways in which students can lower their education loan burden while studying. So the first thing to do is getting a part-time job such as an assistantship. Working part-time during the course not only helps you with your living expenses, but it also helps you save more amount that can be used to repay the education loan. In the USA, the stipend for assistantships is approximately $12 an hour, and students are allowed to work a maximum of 20 hours a week. So a student can thus earn between $900 to $1,000 a year, and this translates to around 58,000 to around 65,000 Indian national rupees, money that can be used to repay a part of the education loan. Or get an internship during the summer break. Students are allowed to do an internship during their summer break. This not only helps them get the relevant industry experience, but also allows them to earn between $3,000 to $5,000 that can again be used to pay a part of the education loan. We also suggest that students build a budget and strictly stick to it. So removing extravagances and unnecessary spendings and saving every penny should be a goal here. So this not only helps save every penny, but it also helps you save and get used to a kind of a lifestyle that is not extravagant. This will come in use when you start earning and have money to spare, but are wise enough to stick to your budget. Now let's just understand what are the top tips on interest amount repayment. So the first tip here is to analyze your financial condition and decide whether you can afford to pay the full or the partial interest during the moratorium period. This analysis will help you get a clearer picture of your financial liability and the ability to repay, and thus help you plan and repay in an organized manner. The next advice we give to our students is to capitalize on features such as margin money, lower interest rates for women, benefits of schemes like Rin Raksha, interest subvention by banks for differently abled or economically weak students, and make use of the various subsidies offered by the government. We also suggest students to take the loan amounts in installments rather than take the whole thing in one go. This is because the interest is calculated on the amount disbursed and not on the amount sanctioned. Hence, taking loan amounts in installments will help students to reduce their interest burden. Our next advice to students is to opt for fixed interest rates when taking an education loan. Students read here and now they know how their interest rates can change, thus affecting their EMIs. So if they've already opted for a floating rate of interest, we suggest them to understand interest fluctuations and plan for increment. We also urge our students to understand the prepayment policy of their lender and then take decisions on prepaying the loan or not. Students also have an option of transferring their existing education loan to a new lender who offers them a lower rate of interest. So once the student gets a job, their profile improves and lenders agree on loan takeover by offering them a reduced interest rate. This will again help them lower the EMI that they need to pay. Let's now understand what are the pitfalls of using a longer repayment term or a loan tenure extension. So now that our viewers are aware of some ways in which you can efficiently plan their interest amount repayment, let us also discuss the other side of the coin, that is, the pitfalls of using a longer repayment tenure. The additional interest that a student pays when the loan tenure is extended is the biggest disadvantage of such an extension. The additional interest puts an unnecessary financial burden on the student, something that we advise students to stay away from. Now I will be telling you how refinancing is going to help you. So as I spoke about it earlier, refinancing your education loan is better than opting for a longer repayment tenure. This is because the student can bargain for a lower rate of interest once they get a job and thereby save their hard-earned money. An unsecured loan at 13% can easily be reduced to 11.5% once the student gets a job. So the lower the rate of interest, that will reduce your EMIs and thus make loan repayment a tad bit easier. Gyanthan, India's first student loan financing platform, recommends students to start repaying their loan at the earliest. While helping students get an education loan, we suggest the best loan options based on their individual profile and help you get them sanctioned in the shortest time too. We work towards helping our students and get the best deal, and we can even help them extend the moratorium period if required. So that's it for this video, guys. If you have any queries, please post them in the comment section below. Thanks a lot.